Thomas, could you send it over the?
I
because
get it. That's the reason. That's funny because I got it.
Okay.
But let's try it again.
Would be great.
Ah, you send it directly. Okay.
Because we're going to work with that later. You have a closer insight of interactive learning videos, even more practical. Yes, so my presentation is going to be about the e-learning, or rather a blended learning concept, which also includes the design and production of interactive learning videos, which I'm going to explain later. Therefore, I'm going to use an example from an institution of the Johannes Gutenberg University in Mainz, which prepares international students for their further studies in Rhineland-Palatinate. So, to start, what was our background, our ambition to produce those videos, which I'm going to show you later? We have a lot of highly motivated students from all over the world, like China, India, Russia, having all the same aim, which is to study in Rhineland-Palatinate. So, but the problem is that they don't have a certificate like our German A-levels, so Germany is very bureaucratic, which gives them the opportunity to study there, to not just an external semester, but their whole studies. So they come to us, to Rhineland-Palatinate, to Mainz, which is this small part here, and there they can take courses which allows them to study all over the state. So, for example, we have also Kaiserslautern. There's also a university where you can study and take this preparation course. This preparation course is about, so when you start, you choose your course. Like, you have the aim to study biology, you take the M course, and you have different subjects. The students have a high level of pressure during their year because they have to take a lot of lessons. They have, of course, to learn a new language, which is German, and they have to take a lot of tests. All of this ends with their final exam, and the problem is if they fail this exam, first of all, they are not allowed to study in Rhineland-Palatinate, and they have immediately to go back to their home country. So, for example, their green card just ran out. That's why they take this course, which I chose the M course, which is based for a concept for biology class, medicine, and pharmacy. So they take these subjects. They have math, chemistry, biology, and of course German. Everyone has to take this German class. And in biology, we decided to create interactive learning videos, which allows the students to learn at home in their home country. Because also a problem is when their school is finished in their home country, they have a lot of time until this course starts in Mainz, in Rhineland-Palatinate. And so they can use this time to prepare themselves for this course before the real preparation course. Yes. That's why we decided to plan a blended learning conception. Blended learning, the difference between e-learning and blended learning is that you have a combination between online time before your computer and also a face-to-face interaction with your teacher in classical classes. So that's what you all know. The advantages of blended learning are just you have this huge variety of teaching and learning methods. You can use online tools and e-learning tools to learn, but you also have those classical lessons with your teacher where you can interact and present your results. You have online learning. You are self-determined. You can choose when you want to learn with those online or digital media resources and when. So this point is self-determined in the time aspect. For us, it was really important to have these distance learning process. So e-learning is also about long distance learning. You can learn in China, in Russia, it's everywhere the same. If you have an internet connection, you can just have access to the videos or the other material like worksheets and so on. So yeah, and of course, in financial aspect, you can produce those videos. You don't have to do them anymore. It's just cheaper. So what is this process of learning, planning, and design about? It's also in a couple of steps when you want to plan an e-learning concept. So for example, first of all, you have to have an aim. What do you want to do? Do you want to have blended learning or just the whole e-learning concept? Do you want to include classes or not? Which learning environment do you want to create? If you answer these questions, you can go to the next step, which is the need. So what do you need to reach your aim? Do we need teachers, special teachers? Do we need special education for those teachers who are who look over those e-learning concepts and who produce them? That's when you can go to the concrete realization. That's just those three steps, like idea, design, and implementation. When you know what you do and what do you want to do, you can just have an idea, you can design your course, and you can implement it. So just give it to your students. And of course, the last steps, because it can be also ordered in a circle, you have to evaluate, is it good for your students, or do we have to make some improvements for them? So that is the theoretical part. And the next question that you have to ask yourself, if you want to have all those theories of learning, so how do we learn? Which students do we have? So, of course, as we know, it's quite a bit boring, those three learning theories. We have behaviorism, so black box model. You give a dog a piece of sugar, and then he's really happy, and you can do it all of the time. You have cognitivism, where you just focus on your cognitive inner process, constructivism, self-determined, human, and so on. You can all forget about it. For e-learning, does this mean? So if you want to say, okay, I create an e-learning concept just in those, oh, good. That is German. I tried to delete it, just don't read about it. If you want to say, I want to do an e-learning concept which is fully in the behaviorism, you have to have those moments of success. You have to have always this feedback of your progress and small pieces of information. Media is really as a regulator. If you want to say, I want to adapt totally to the cognitivism, you have to concentrate on the cognitive process of learners. You have to create those special or individual learning theories and strategies of your individual learning processes, and you can use, for example, e-learning as a presentation part. Constructivism is, for example, like those maker scene. You are a self-determined human and you explore while learning, or you learn while you explore the world and the subject you want to learn. And it's also about collaborative learning. We said, or I said in my work, this is so complicated and you can't always concentrate on one theory of learning, that we say, okay, there's another theory, which is say, we are not a whole theory, but we say we are combining all of these because we have so individual students and everybody has their own needs and individual learning styles, that we had to combine it. So like you take from the behaviorism, you have those feedback mechanics, so where you have always, oh, that's good, that's not good. Or you say, I take from the cognitivism, have this presentation tools during classes, or we say constructivism, where you have to have real experience with the learning stuff. So at the end, in the end, that was our course. We have this learning management system, which is Moodle, where we have all our different packages of learning videos. Yes, and that's all. So, which is perhaps a bit more interesting for you, let's get practical. So how does this look like, what we did? I don't know, did you get the email?
No.
Yet? No?
I'm working on it.
Okay. Good. Just another one. So, does anybody of you know Adobe Captivate? Yeah, Tim, Niklas, awesome. I think Tim heard about it just 1,000 times. 2,000 times, yes. So we created those learning videos. So this is in German. Yesterday I created something in English, so you can try it out on your mobile device or on your computer. You have to look, what does it look like? So this is about the DNA, how do you repair it, and how does this process work? We have those little those little themes which are in this whole module. You have a glossary where you can look up all of the terms used are in the video, and we have some questions based on the content. So for example, it looks like this. Okay. So, unfortunately, I can't reach this part because then you can have a subtitle. There. So we said because we have these huge varieties of language skills. Some are good at German, some are just learning the language from the beginning. So we added subtitles to all of the videos so that they can more easily understand what is going on. So for example, we have this. This is about the impact of cigarettes on your DNA. So normally you can hear my voice talking about, oh, this is the impact on cigarettes on your DNA. It is about 3,000 damages on each strand, and so on and so on. So this is it, for example. And then you can watch and write down what it is about. Yes. We decided to use only images that we created by our own or that are on wikimedia.org, so there is no problems with the copyright. Thank you. Yes. So you can switch on all over the video. You can decide, do I want to learn something about different forms of mutation of the DNA, or do I just skip that and go back to the menu and learn something about restriction enzymes? So it is a combination between visual and auditive things. The interactive part I can show you is about the quizzes, for example, we created a lot of quizzes. For example, here. So we tried to create a game with Adobe Captivate. Pardon? Okay, yeah, that's on Mac, but it always works on Windows. Before that, I worked on Windows, and then I wanted to try out Mac, so I put it. It's about the biology challenge, and you are the student, and you have to. The problem is that you lost all of your learning worksheets and all of that in the bus or in the subway, and you have to collect it from your colleagues. So that is the problem. And so the mission: collect all of your worksheets from your colleagues. Put start, and then you try to. You have to choose everything. Do I want to go to the biologies? Do I have to visit my friend? Do I want to ask a colleague? Or do I want to ask my professor? Or do I want to go back home? So of course, if you decide, okay, I want to go back home, you will believe, no, of course not. You have to learn, so go back. So, okay, you're going to ask your friend Lena, and you have to solve a puzzle game, which is not that much difficult. It's a protein. So this and this. So finish, congratulations. No, he's not happy with me. Yes, very good, we can go on. So then you get some points. You have a memory game which you can include. So, for example, you can play the memories with different. So this is all about biology. It's a little bit complicated, but it works. You can just try to play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, for example. Los geht's. So you have to solve 16 questions to get the millions, and then you're done. You have another points. Or you also can go to your professor. This is not quite finished yet. And you have to solve some questions about just photosynthesis and what are these plants and these plants and these plants. Yes. Did you get the email now? Yes? Yes? So there was a zip file.
This is a zip file.
Ah, okay. Did you do it?
The 2 files you sent. I just put them on the Google Drive and shared it.
Okay.
And to get it work, I think you have to go Google Drive like file and download the whole zip file. Yeah. Extract it on your PC. And
yes.
the Adobe Capture.html.
Also es hat bei mir ein bisschen anders ausgesehen. Huh? Yeah, but I put it all in one file, and so we can download it and just open. Yes. Okay.
And then it looks like this. Better. Yeah.
Ah, okay, great.
Yep.
Yeah. Google Drive. Where's the email? And check it. Because I have the link by heart. It's like this. He sent it to the whole thing. Can you check again?
You have to go back. This, yes, and then you go there. Just push there. Oh, there has to be something. Just download everything. Go back. Just push there. No, back. This one, I think it's data, and then there is download. And download it. There's the file. So just minimize it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you can do it on your desktop, and you just have to unpack it. And okay. Yeah.
Und dann öffnest du in dem Ordner.
Okay. And then you have to choose, I think it's this one, yeah. No, Adobe Captivate. Double click and then it's open in Google Chrome. Can I? Sorry.
Downloading. Please do your issues.
Can you open it with Google Chrome? No. Can I try this one? The Flash.
Yeah, because I don't have a program.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, and there is an HTML file. This one. And this should open in your internet browser. Yes. Okay. Okay, so I would give you just like a couple of minutes to see what you can do with this tool. So just click around, and if you have questions, just ask me. Does it work? Oh, okay, perfect. Ah, it works. Yes.
Or if you're a fighter, the whole package. Yes.
You can't use it. You can take my computer if you want to. Okay. Okay.
Yes, I have to, but it doesn't work with ended up in Germany. I don't know how
Met die conteúdo do Thiago.
Oh, it's crazy. So, for example, here, if you click it, you can hear an audio, just St. Stephansdom. It's quite good. Yes, for example. It's quite good if you have those images and you want to explain which part is what and you don't know how to pronounce it. You just put click boxes over your image and then you can, for example, here you put click boxes and you just speak in it and then you have it.
Going to be millionaire soon? No. Okay.
You lost. Ah, Sissy.
Game over.
Okay. So what is your experience? So this is just a simple kind of video, so it's not. Okay, so I would like to ask you to share your experiences with me. are you interested how the program works, or just what do you want to know, or what are your experiences? This is just quite a simple video. It's not. Yes, Tim?
Yeah, maybe how long does it take to, for example, you showed us a DNA course, something.
Yes.
How long did you
The,
work on it?
the DNA course just takes 8 to 9 hours.
8 to 9 hours?
Yeah, this one just took 2 to 3 hours. But just you have to look for the information, what do you want to distribute, and which kind of elements do you want to include, and that was just a simple, quick and easy one. Yes.
How do the students like it?
It was, yeah, they had different opinions. One student just said, I have to learn with those videos because otherwise I can't learn all the stuff in the lessons. Another one said, I'm not used to e-learning, I don't want to work with the computer in my lessons, so I don't use the videos. And the other ones, they see it as an addition to the lessons. Yes. Other questions, or?
Is there a special optimization for mobile devices?
For mobile devices, yes, you can use it on your iPad and on your smartphones. So that would be the mobile part, but
there is
no.
a special app for it, or there is a special template or a theme for it, and it's because the screen looks different on the smartphone and mobile device than on a normal computer.
I think that the new version of Adobe Captivate just creates those apps, but I have it's number 8, I have number 7. There's not just that you have an app and just push on it and you can look for it. We have a platform called OLAT, and there you can choose your topic which you want to choose on your computer. I think on the iPhone or on the iPad it's a little bit, yeah, not so visible or logical. Order it, but no.
For me, it's a little bit in the direction of interactive books, let's say. Because you can also add movies, pictures, quizzes, whatever.
It's not this video part because it's just not a movie or something like that. It was a bit irritating. Okay. So then I have to say thank you for your attention, and if you have any questions or want to see something, you can ask me, of course.
Just a question on my side, because as I said, it's quite similar to the new ebooks. Are you familiar with EPUB 3? Otherwise, I can simply show you a short video about it, because it's very similar to what I've seen right now. Yeah, it's a standard. It's a standard for electronic books or electronic publication. You want to see it? Because it's very
I would like to thank Vera for spending 2 to 3 hours just for this exercise just for us. Awesome.
No, it was not. You're welcome.
Nicht vergessen.
Ja.
It's not the download version, the free version.
You can use it 30 days for free, and then you have to buy it. But what you produce in those 30 days, it's also possible a little bit with PowerPoint. There's options, but you can use it also. Is there?
Yeah. Cable. Are you familiar with e-books in general? Yeah. You probably had the same painful experience that there are a lot of standards out, and not all ebook reader reads the same standards. That's pain stuff. And there is right now a new format which is called EPUB free. Maybe this talk is a little bit too long. EPUB free is. Auf den Teppich und am Bild, da steht ein Doppelbett. Das nackte Schlämmchen auf dem Gesicht. Yeah. EPUB free is a standard based on HTML5 and CSS3. So it's actually coming more from the website, from the web area side. Let's say it like this. And yeah, it's the new standard for e-books. Actually, as far as I know, in Tallinn they have a project about e-books to define what is an e-book, and also for the future, because e-book doesn't mean that it's a scanned PDF file or something like that, because it's the worst you can have. Just to show you here an example about EPUB free. So you get data from the sensors as well. Well, it's more about the interactive side. I would like, because the other day I saw you can also have some quizzes in. Maybe here we have an interactive maths book.
Numerous results and an interactive math sample debug for iOS devices. Here, you can find a blank graph with x and y coordinates. On the left side, you will find the table with x and y values, both positive and negative integers. By selecting the x or y value in the table column, you will notice the change in the color. You can also see a point being drawn on the graph. Now, this will help the children to coordinate both the values of x and y and the corresponding point on the graph. Similarly, by selecting the remaining values, you will notice the corresponding points being drawn on the graph. See? In the bottom, you can see two buttons, that is Draw Graph and Reset. If you click on the Draw Graph button, you will notice a smooth curve being drawn automatically based on the x and y values. Now, the Reset button.
Yeah, you can see that's much more like a simple normal book as we know it right now. So it's much more interactive. You can do quizzes there. You can do all what is possible in JavaScript. Everybody who's familiar with JavaScript, so all the things are possible here. And actually, and that's the reason why I was thinking it's kind of similar. Well, you can also add some videos there,
Yes,
puzzles there.
but also a little bit different for coding.
Hmm?
I wouldn't compare it too much to EPUB because it's just more. But there's things you can add, just like this mouse over and big boxes.
Well, what other difference do you see? Because I'm curious. I'm sorry, I'm just curious.
I'm just speaking the whole text in it, and you can push it when you want to do something different. Just yeah, it's difficult to explain. Just push this box, and then comes this audio, and you push this button, and you have this audio with subtitles, and you have to, as you want to design it, you have to those timetables, you have to adapt them. Then was just like stop motion, then comes this, and that you have fluent animation, for example. It's just like Adobe Photoshop from the interface, but it's like you have those PowerPoint slides, and then from slide to slide you can go through the video or EPUB.
Maybe you also would like to see this interface, what she was talking right now about, because she's sure as mainly the front side or the front page, but not the back end. Maybe you could also show us the back end that you used to create this learning activity if it's not a problem. The connector, yeah.
Yes.
Originally packed.
Yes, just bought it yesterday.
Oh, just for your presentation?
Yes, I wanted to buy it in Germany, but just forgot about it, and so I went to Linz. So you start like, it's just the money to. You start like this. You have on the left side you have your project. You just begun. And then here you can choose between software simulation or a video demo, or just you start with an empty project. So here you can choose the size of your project. You have this Apple iPad, or I usually take this one because it also fits with smartphones, and you can see it good on your computer screen. So here you can choose your design. Do you want those clouds, for example? Or we usually just take the white one, because it's not so disturbing or like those clouds all the time. Not so colored. Here you can choose which kind of slide you want to have. Is it empty one, or do you want to use text, or do you want to use text and, for example, images or videos? You choose an empty one and take the color. Start with this gray, because on gray you can see the images quite good. So we have this empty slide, and we have to fill this slide. For example, we add an image from example here. We use this image. It's quite huge because it's from my camera. And so, what do you want to do with the image? For example, we want to have a project or video about Vienna and its buildings. And so the students should learn how the buildings are pronounced, or what options do we have. So we can, for example, use a click box, which is moment. It's just my screen is too small. We choose click box, which is here. So just want the student should, if the student click on the image, we want an audio, for example. So we say, okay, this is the image, take the click box, and now the click box is over the image. If the student click on the click on the box or on the image, then this text comes. So for example, congratulations, you clicked on the box. If the student doesn't click on the box, then this text will appear. So for example, no, sorry, that was the wrong box. If I don't know what to do, the student just goes with this mouse here like this, and then this text comes. It's just text of advice. You say, hey, why not click on the image? So for example, if we take just the one that you tried out, where do I have it? Just because of the war, it's just so pressed together, everything. Normally, so here. For example, I just put several squares on the slide, like this. Then double click and you add some text. You can choose the color you want, the text, kind of text you want, just whatever. And just you have here those click box. And then you have to say what happens if I click on this box. You have here just by Erfolg, just if you click on it, you are jumping to the slide number 5, which is visual effects. So for example, then I created slide number 5. This is visual effects, and you have those texts. And you say here you've got those times, because I say when I click on the button start, then the different texts appear. But I have to say, okay, the texts appear after 5 seconds. And then I have to put it here. It's just a bit complicated, but after the time you will, everybody understands it. So you say, okay, this text should have some effects. I say it should have this effect to fly down when it's finished, and add it to the text icon. For this, you can, Adobe Captivate has some persons you can use. So for example, those. She's very happy that you did it, or here's an Asian woman who shows on some box, for example. Yes, and these are the quiz elements. For example, you can say, I want to have 4 answers, so I have to say 4. Every right answer has to have 10 points. So this is basic, how it works in basic. Yes, here what you use, what you want to have on your slide, and that's you are saying what the slide should do. Want to see some something different or questions or? For example, here there's interactions from Adobe Captivate, so like this, who wants to be a millionaire, or you can say, let's create some hangman, or Jeopardy is. You can do it, for example, if we scrolling text, a memory game, notes. Ja, ich komme da jetzt nicht runter wegen dem Bildschirm irgendwie, dass ich es noch einfügen könnte. Ja. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Are there some more questions? It's almost like a little bit of creating a game or something like that, isn't it?
So that's, for example, who wants to be a millionaire, you type the question in here and the different answers, and you say, okay, this is the answer, who gives you $10,000 or euros, and you can say, I want to have 15 questions, or 6 or 3 questions, your currency, or just non-currency. Yes, and here you can give feedback. Sorry, that's wrong. Or you can also say, if it's just in the biology class, you can say, oh, for example, look at page 56, you can read about it. Yes. Thank you.
Do you know also some alternatives to the Adobe product?
There are not many alternatives, but I tried. It's a little bit possible with PowerPoint because you can add some audios or just images to PowerPoint and program some buttons.
I can suggest you my YouTube tool is also that kind of software. It's online. And
perhaps not so expensive like.
Yes, I'm not sure how it was. I did some projects with it.
Yeah, the advantage of what's good about Adobe Captivate, in my opinion, I don't have to be a programmer. I don't have to write just in HTML5 because I can do that. Just put my images and draw at home some DNA, and that's all. Yes.
Yeah, I actually know a similar program also. It's free, but it doesn't have as many options. You can make crossword puzzles with it. You can make multiple choice answers. You can make it like it's a story. You read it and then you have to write it with your own words. What did you read or something like that? Insert the text in the gaps. That's text. There's free space. You enter the text and then the teacher sees the result. It's called hot potatoes. Maybe you've heard of it. Yeah. So I think that's also a good option. It's not that filled with features like this one, but you still can create an interesting lesson.
Well, that's still good.
Yeah.
Yes. I think Moodle has an option for spaces and blank spaces.
I don't know if you're familiar with learninapps.org. Learninapps.org.
Yes.
Well, I will write it in the back channel, which is rather useful. Yeah, anyway, thank you so much, because it's really hard work. I hope, well, the problem is a little bit to make it accessible, because Adobe is always a little painful when it comes to the price tag.
Yes, it is also a lot of use it in the personal management, so just in like there's corporations, you know, they have money, but universities usually don't have that much money. Just I don't know. I think there are some Rabatte, some discounts for universities if you buy a lot of licenses, but I think one costs around 300 euros.
In general, I know such offering systems since a long time because it's kind of offering system, but it fits to this category. And there's a long discussion if there should be such system excluded or included to the it's hard for me to say learning management system. Because a lot of systems somehow have such tools included. Of course, not as capable as this one. That's out of the question. It's some kind of, you know, or is maybe too much, but some discussion between two ideas. Should it be within the system, or should it be some external system which can be somehow imported? The products can be imported to learning management systems. There was also something called Mediator, which is also it's very, very old, like from all the good old times, before HTML5. Yeah, it was also similar. Good. If there are no questions from your side, I would like to invite you for a short break. Please be on time. It's 15:15 because we have a colleague on a hangout, so he will wait for us. 15:15 here again, please, for the hangout.
Very good, Vera.
Sorry.